My Troublesomes, it's Miracle, and welcome back to my Miracle. I'm so happy you guys decided to join me today, and honey, we are doing what we do best, and that is minding other people's business. So sit back, grab yourself a little comfort pillow, go ahead and pour yourself a little drink, because honey, I got the hot cocoa for you. So honey, we see that petty Paige has come back to the scene, and she issued a secondary apology video, and I'm here to tell you guys how that went. But in the meantime, I'm also going to explain to you what we're baking today. I'm about to make dinner, but I'm starting off with a dessert first, so it saves me a little bit of time because this is a little bit more arduous and more hands-on than preparing the chicken. So as it is, we are making ourselves a pineapple upside down cake. I don't really know if it's upside down, but we're making a pineapple cake with like this homemade coconut icing. All right, and I'm gonna add a little bit of rum in there to give it a little bit of kick. So that's what we're working with today. So if you guys were not aware, about a month ago, earlier this month or something, or the 3rd, Petty Paige had actually took to YouTube to issue out the original Goodbye Drama Community video, and that video actually got a lot of backlash. Reason being, people did not sense her sincerity. In addition to that, she actually also acknowledges that she herself did not come from a place of understanding. She had found herself agreeing with others that when she was being told off about herself, she was acting defensively, and she did not take the necessary time to fully grasp what people were saying. For the sake of her own mental health, she decided to come off of social media for the time being. Because the backlash was so prominent in her initial video, she decided to actually private it, and we saw the decrease in appearances on social media. She's just taking the necessary time needed to self-reflect. Her 2.5-week hiatus was brought to an end yesterday when she announced her secondary video, and we get more insight as to what was happening behind the scenes. Anticipating a fair amount of backlash, she decided to set the chat up with about 3 or 4 moderators to make sure that the chat space was healthy. She indicated to the moderators that all speech was welcomed. The only speech that was to be cleared out of was any sort of hate speech. That being said, she said anyone who decided to say that she was being a jerk or anything like that, as long as it was constructive criticism, they were to allow those people to share their thoughts and opinions. Paige then proceeded to take the time to apologize to the necessary individuals that she felt that she had wronged during this whole transaction. She finally decides to take the time to issue out these apologies because she realized that she was a major contributor to the mess that was going on within the drama community, and especially the Twitterverse. She starts this off by apologizing to the Asian community. Upon reflection, she realized that even though she does not think that her words were harmful in the context that she was using, she does acknowledge that she hurt people, and that is more than enough reason to take the time to apologize to this group of people. Interestingly enough, she also takes the time to apologize directly to Smokey Glow. She acknowledges that in her efforts to protect her friend, she decided to jump in, so to speak, and end up involving herself in a manner that didn't actually involve her. In fact, she aptly said it wasn't her chicken or her turkey or something along those lines. Maybe I'll insert that clip.
The second person that I would like to apologise to is Smokey Glow. Smokey Glow, I did not need to be involved in that drama. I involved myself, and for that I am sorry. I spoke on something that should have been handled between yourself and Nick Snyder, and I entered that conversation because I saw my friend hurt, but in essence, it was not my beef, it was not my turkey, it was not my chicken. I should have stayed vegetarian. Okay.
She also takes the time to address Ashlye Kyle, which came to the major surprise of many of those present, especially in light of how Ashlye portrayed her opinion on the whole situation a week prior.
Can you hear this? Establish my thoughts on Paige. Now that I've gotten through this. Paige, and I'm gonna say this as nicely as possible, I literally went from wanting to get rid of all the hatred in my heart to you. I don't really have any hatred towards you. I'm just kind of like, meh, you can go fuck yourself.
Did you hear that? Paige also takes the time to apologize to here for the tea, which came to the utter surprise of much of those in attendance. She ends up saying that their beef has lasted well into 2020, and it started approximately around 2017, so it's a solid 2 to 3 years they have been beefing. She explains to her audience that the reason why she's taking the time to issue this apology is for her own mental health, as it is her anger and her dislike for Here for the Tea has done nothing. It hasn't added an iota of positivity in her life, so she's deciding to let that beef go because it has exhausted itself, essentially. She also takes the time to apologize to, I believe it was Sesh. She ended up dropping her government name along with an image, and that was not necessary to her rhetoric. So for that, she decided to issue this apology just in case her personal safety was at risk. She also takes the time to acknowledge that in her position of being a larger content creator, she has a responsibility to smaller audiences and or people that she is speaking to make sure that she is protecting them in their position. Okay, so I don't know where I really left off because I was just like, yo, I need to get this cooking out the way. So anyway, Paige also issues an apology to her audience. As it is, she feels as if she has not been putting her best foot forward. She realizes that her content from when she first came onto YouTube, thus to this point, has changed severely to the point where she is not even sure that she's really recognizable. She regrets a lot of her decisions because she realizes that in a lot of cases, she was only making certain choices or acting a certain way for the sake of money. And she came to a point where she's not even sure who she really is anymore. During her moment of introspection, she decided to look herself in the mirror and say to herself, I don't like you. After doing so, she was fully able to realize who she actually was. And she explains to everyone what sort of mental journey she's been going through. As it were, after she received her weight loss surgery, she ended up feeling more confident about her physical appearance. She got to dress how she wanted to dress, she looked how she wanted to look, and then she realizes how detrimental stress eating was to her whole being. That being said, because she couldn't use food as a means to cope, she was using other means to be able to do so, and it ended up manifesting itself in how she treated other people. So with all that being said, she closes up her speech by saying that if she's going to be disliked or hated over the internet, she'd rather do so while being herself. And she decided that during this time, while she's still figuring out everything, she's going to still ponder over how this is going to end up affecting her content going forth in the future. But ultimately, as long as she's in a happy and healthy headspace, it would be all worthwhile. And going forward, she is going to end up meeting hatred with love. Okay, honey, opinion time. Okay, so let's talk about the live chat first. So the live chat actually got like on and popping after that whole speech. Actually was like on and popping the whole way through. Understandably, she was not able to take the time to answer the huge influx of questions that were coming her way. So hopefully we'll be able to see that if anyone did have any further questions, she did open up her DMs for people to reach out to her and be like, hey, I need an apology for you for XYZ, or hey, this is something that you did wrong. I think that you didn't present this. But I think for what it's worth, she did the right thing in releasing a live apology. I felt like that was very authentic, especially since so many people felt a ways about her initial apology being so scripted. So excessively prepared, and it just, I don't know, to me, it didn't appear as if she gave excuses for her behavior, and for that, I am grateful. She gave some background information about her own mental health and her journey with her mental health and self-love, so I thought that was nice.
Oh my goodness, honeys. In the middle of me editing in the kitchen, I realized that I forgot one integral thing that grind my gears, and that had everything to do with the fact that she did not address the situation with Rich Lux using the G-E-R version of the words. Can we just talk about how there's a difference between G-A and G-E-R, okay? I think that we should know the difference. I don't know why everyone keeps ignoring this. I understand that you feel as if it's been addressed, but obviously it has not been addressed in full, and to use Fat Joe as a means to excuse this behavior, I'm really confused, bemused, befuddled. I cannot. But yeah, that's the only thing that I personally would have really and truly wished that she would have addressed in this public, you know, live, whatever. But you know what? We're gonna give her what she gave us, you know. She addressed something, and hopefully in the future she will understand the importance of addressing this properly. Hopefully Rich Lux won't screw up and do it again, because this time, I don't know, he can't get helped, you know. But in any case, guys, I found my black glasses. Do you like it? All right, back to your regularly scheduled program.
So you kind of get to gauge where she is throughout this whole phase. Do I think 2.5 weeks is enough time for her to make such a monumental change in her life? To be honest with you, that's not my business. I'm not going to pretend like it's my business. I'm also going to encourage you to not pretend like that's your business, because some people process information faster than others, and some take a long and arduous amount of time to be able to reflect on something that they've done wrong. So I'm going to leave that alone. But as far as how I felt like she addressed the situation, there was still some things to be desired. There were a couple of bigger matters that I don't think that she fully got to express or go over with anyone. One such thing being the situation revolving around the Native American scenario. Another such thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I also don't expect her to necessarily go back and apologize to everyone she's affected. And that's in reference to how she misconstrued the message that Tea Time and Fringy ended up creating revolving around her. So, and I actually saw someone in the comments go ahead and approach her or question her about that. But then it just got really ugly in the comments. And that's not her fault. At least her mods were able to take care of it. But I would hope going forth in the future, she would be able to have a conversation with those parties in private, and so that it will be able to handle that between each other. If for all those who are wondering why I even bothered to review this, look, I'm gonna be consistent with people, guys. So if I see them doing bad, I'm gonna tell them about themselves, and if I see them doing good, I'm also gonna big them up, because I want everybody to know at the end of the day, my commentary is strictly commentary. I have no ill will towards the person. That being said, I can only reflect on how they portray themselves in their public setting, and I think this was a step into the right direction. So you guys could feel how you feel about Paige, but in essence, if you were judging her on her activity right now, she owned it. She said it with her chest. Yo, I screwed up, and only time will tell if she's really sincere with that. But if you guys want to take the time to accept her apology, you are more than welcome to do so. You do not need validation from the masses to be able to say, yo, I rock with her, I don't rock with her. That is your business. Like, I don't understand when we created this whole societal means in which we have to jointly be able to forgive someone for something that you felt was wrong. I don't know if that's making sense, but I just decided to go over that with you guys, because a lot of people were coming to me like, well, how come you support this person and don't support that one? It's up to me. My feelings are my feelings, and you guys are entitled to your own feelings. And just because we decide that we are going to respectfully disagree with one another does not mean that we are not able to have an open and happy dialogue with one another. And it doesn't mean that we can't rock with each other for something else. You don't have to agree with everything. As long as you're respectful, that is fine. So that being said, if you love Petty Paige at the end of the day, good for you. If you dislike her, don't spread hatred, but good for you. And how I feel about her, again, I don't have any formal opinion of her. I think she is a talented creator. I think she is quite brilliant when it comes to taking the time to address certain situations. Well, I'm more so speaking from her past, but I see that she's exceptionally talented. She has a lot of dreams and aspirations, and I'm rooting for her. But that's it. If she does well, she does well, and if she screws up again, your girl will be here to talk about it. All right, guys. So I love you guys so much. Let me know how you feel about the apology video. Did you think that it was necessary? Do you think that this was a whole scheme in order to build up public fluff so that she can continue on in the drama community? Do you feel as if, like, you don't care? Tell me if you don't care, because frankly speaking, To a certain degree, I probably don't. But that's all I have to say, my honey buns, my sweethearts, my troublesomes, and until next time, I love you. Bye!